Hello, my name is Kurt, and today I will be talking about another MGTOW topic. Now, the primary point I'm trying to talk about in this video is how I wish that I got into MGTOW at a much younger age, primarily 18, but the younger the better, I'm telling you. As a man, the younger you get your shit together, the better off you are in the remote future. Now, at 18, the hormones are raging. All you want to do is get into that wet and moist, if you catch my drift. And you do a lot of crazy things, you know. You waste a lot of time. You waste a lot of money. You go through all this drama. Now, at a young age, you don't really realize how drama-filled and superficial most women actually are. You are completely blinded to that. The older you get, the more you see the repeating patterns. You get a girl presenting herself as, oh, I'm drama-free. I avoid drama like the plague. I'm not a gold digger. I don't care about money. This and that, blah, blah, blah. But then the more time you spend with her, and the more time you spend in her circle of friends, and the more knowledge you obtain about her personality, the more you realize the superficiality of it. I'm not saying superficial from a standpoint of like, oh, I got a Gucci purse, or I got, Gucci earrings or whatever. Not that type of superficiality, but superficiality just in general. You talk to girls, and then you could throw these little tricks at them. They throw tricks at you, you throw tricks at them. You'd be like, oh, what do you think of this guy? Or what do you think of that guy? And a recent experiment I've been doing recently is pretty much showing women my age pictures of either semi-famous streamers or people they really wouldn't necessarily see before or know before. I'm not talking about Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm talking about, internet video game streamer type of personalities. And you show them pictures of these men, right? Successful in their field. And you could instantly see how they judge certain things. They're like, oh, his face is a little bit chubby, or he has a bald spot, or, he looks this and that, and blah, 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 blah. Without knowing the person's personality and all that stuff, okay, I understand that humans are just like animals in which they base their primary, their first impression upon looks and what they see first. I understand that. But then it's funny to see how the opinion changes, right? I go like, oh yeah, this guy is a streamer. He just sits at home streaming video games to around 30,000 people watching him on a daily basis. And he makes probably $1,000 a day, easy, without doing much. And once they find out how much he makes and what he does and general successes like that, their opinion changes. They're like, oh yeah, he's cute, blah blah, this and that, blah blah blah, and to me it's freaking hilarious. But it happens a lot, and women say stuff like, oh, like I would be like, oh, do you see this guy dating Megan Fox? And then they say, oh no, she's way out of his league, right? But then when I show them pictures of these men's girlfriends that are like very attractive women, they're like, oh, whatever, oh, he just got lucky, or this and that, whatever. It's just a non-ending stream of non-ending supply of bullshit, in my opinion, really. So, with all that aside, if I got into MGTOW a lot sooner, I would have a Rolex Submariner, solid gold right now, for 20,000, easy, no problem. But because of my retarded decisions at a younger age, you know, it's gonna take some time. I gotta keep saving up, I gotta keep hustling, and I gotta keep struggling to get what I want. You feel me? And what do I have, right? What do I have? Nothing. All those women I suffered for, all those women I struggled with, all that drama and all that bullshit I put up with. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just knowledge, which is actually priceless in my opinion. But like I said, I wish I understood these things sooner. So, for all those young men watching my video, please don't feel ashamed. Don't feel restricted. Don't feel anything. If you're like 16, if you're like 17, if you're 18, whatever, do you. Do yourself. Everything else comes later. Don't worry about it, you know? I'm saying it how it is right now. Because you'll be putting yourself down at, like, for example, at age 18, you're like, oh, you know, I'm not getting laid as much as my friends. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting this. Oh, maybe I should get into the dating game. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. Fuck all that bullshit. Because I could tell you right now, you know, I'm 24 years old, and the supply of women is overabundant for a man like me. You know? If I were to indulge, I would be just completely overwhelmed by all the experiences. But guess what? I don't fucking care anymore, you know? At a younger age, it was like, oh, you know, it would be nice to be a rock star and sleep with 10 different women a night, blah, 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 this and that. Now it's like, I don't give a shit about any of that. Give me the money, give me the luxury, and just give me peace of mind so I could sit and expand my knowledge and follow my dreams and follow my goals, you know. Do not lose your goals. Do not focus your goals on another person, because it's not going to benefit you in any way. At a younger age, for example, you might try to be somebody or not. Try to change your look. Try to change your personality. Try to change certain things about yourself just to be with certain women, right? But in the end, it just never works out. And it's just a hassle. And it's just a waste of time. So, like I said, the sooner the better. I urge all young MGTOWs out there to just freaking save up, you know, save your money, do what makes you happy. It doesn't even have to be about the money. Just spend your time the way you want to spend it. If you like, for example, watching Netflix all day, every day, do it. You know? It's whatever makes you happy. Because then, for example, you'll stop doing that to go on a date with a female, whatever. And then in the back of your head, you're like, I wish I was fucking at home watching Netflix and just eating freaking chocolate chip cookies instead of dealing with all this bullshit, listening to stories about her friends' lives and listening to, you know, all this crap, you know? And when you look back, this is almost a guaranteed. I'm saying it how it is right now. If you look back, like I'm 24 right now, if I look back to all those girls I was into at 18, right now, they're kind of like overweight, pregnant, or have several kids already. They're married to some type of beta male provider, with kids that they had from that, alpha punk from high school. Then you don't want to end up like that, man. You don't. I'm just, like I said, you'll see all these things. For those who don't believe me, time will tell. Time will teach you valuable lessons on your own. I'm just saying it how it is. Like I said, I wish I had found MGTOW sooner, or I had somebody that told me all these things about this and really drilled it into my damn head, drilled it past that, teenage pubescent phase where, you kind of listen to people, but then you're like, oh, maybe they're wrong, or maybe they, they had different experiences, that's their life, or maybe they were hanging around with the wrong women, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Just take it in yourself and realize, it might be depressing, it might be painful, but once you acknowledge this as a reality, it frees you from a lot of different things, Just basically speaking, if I took that time that I wasted on all that bullshit I did in the past, and I just focus it strictly on guitar techniques, or composing my own music, or whatever, it would have been a lot better at this point. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that, through experiences and through pain and through rough events in your life, music could flow out of that. Music could flow out of everything. If you're a musician, that's just an ability. You could look at a piece of, you could look at a used cigarette butt on the side of a sidewalk and compose a whole album about that. Melodies, lyrics, everything. Like right now, I could see that, and you could be like, cigarette butts on the sidewalk, da 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 da. How many times do I have to talk, do 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 do, until the world understands my mysteries? You see? Easy. It's too damn windy today. Anyway, as I was saying, and the drama that comes with having ex-girlfriends or whatever, it's always a hassle. Things I've done in the past, girls I messed with in the past. You get a new girlfriend, and then they try to fuck it up for you, because they're not happy, and they see that, oh, he's dating somebody else, or he seems happy, so I'm gonna fucking try to ruin it for him, They'll either call or find a way to squeeze into the friendship zone of your new girlfriend, whatever, and then they'll just say stupid shit, and like they'll just basically fuck up a lot of different things, and then things can't blossom the way they're supposed to, because there's interferences. I know some guys that, for example, want to date a new woman, right? But they have their exes like just on their ass all the time, creating drama, creating problems, Just, it's like, oh, I'm going to invite this new girl over to my place, whatever. And then the old girl shows up unannounced and says, oh, how are you doing, blah, 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 and starts like hitting on you, grabbing your dick, all this shit. And what is the new girl gonna think? That, he's still fucking this chick, or he's a player, this and that. It causes so much complications. But I'm just happy that I'm out of that scene entirely. I don't have to worry about anything. Through my time as a MGTOW, I've learned how to present myself as a better man. I've learned how to dress as a better man. I upgraded a lot of things about myself, and it is not a superficial way in which, well, not a fake way in which, for example, there's a goth girl that I'm interested in, and then all of a sudden I start wearing goth or whatever. No. What you do is you find those basically aspects of yourself and you bring them out, They are not impeded. They could blossom freely, And like I said, I keep getting back into money. But the truth of the matter is, like I said, if you don't waste your money, if you don't waste your time, you don't have to study, because a lot of people say, oh yeah, go to school, study, get a good career, blah, 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 blah. The secret to money as a man is to know how to hustle in whichever way flows naturally to you, If you're versed in music, just make music. It doesn't matter if everybody fucking hates it. It doesn't matter. It's an expression of yourself. And it's an expression of beauty, and it doesn't matter. Like, look at Gigi Allen. Look at all these sort of tormented musicians. Like, Gigi Allen would smash his fucking head against the concrete, covered in blood, shit on stage, rub his shit all over his face, all over his blood wounds, all over everything, and he would fucking screech his heart out. And he lived how he wanted to live for himself, and not anybody else. In essence, a true rebel. But you don't have to cover yourself in your own shit to prove that you're a rebel. Just be you. Just be free. That's it. And in your own existence, through your own existence, you are performing an act of rebellion. Now, getting back into money and all that stuff. Like I said, hustle. Freaking collect aluminum cans on the side of the street. Do whatever the fuck you can to make that extra buck. Stash it. And guess what? It pays off in the end. Like right now, I could go to a vacation to Thailand or the Philippines and just enjoy myself thoroughly and fully. But if I got into MGTOW at a younger age, if I got into MGTOW sooner, I would have been able to do this so much younger and experience way more things at a younger age. Meaning, I could have went to the Philippines at like 20, right? And I could have experienced the culture there, and I could experience the life there. I could have went to the galleries. I could have saw the art. And through that, you develop yourself as a person in whatever you do. Whether you're a businessman, an entrepreneur, a musician, whatever, it all flows. You go to Asian countries as a businessman or an entrepreneur, whatever. You see how people interact there. You see the trends. You see what people are wearing. You see, a lot of people drive these sort of scooters everywhere. Okay, what I can do is make investments in a certain scooter company, and that could bring me money, self-generating income. Or I could develop a certain different type of scooter, maybe a different style, maybe more conservative on the fuel end, whatever. And the people there will eat it up like candy, So this is what it allows you to do. Like I said, it would be awesome and I say this to all the young viewers watching my videos, get into MGTOW, sorry, ASAP. ASAP. If I put all that money that I spent on just, restaurants and dates and all this bullshit into gold, into silver, into stocks, into penny stocks, into binary options, what have you, If I played with the stock market at a younger age, I would be more experienced and I would be able to make way more money easily. And that's the beauty of it all. Because let's say I had a child with my high school sweetheart, right? The girl I was so deeply and madly in love with. Let's say everything worked out just fine and I had a child with that woman. At this point, I would either be married or I would have a child to take care of. I would be bounded down, I would be tied down to that sort of lifestyle. And to me, that seems pretty shitty. Having a kid at like 24 and dealing with all that bullshit and not enjoying life, like for example, being stuck in the city where the girl wants to stay or whatever, not being able to go to Thailand with the money you made at work but have to, support a family. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with supporting a family. It's a great thing. But it's not a great thing for some people. Some people just don't want to do that. It's entirely up to you. Me personally, that's not my thing. I'd rather travel the world. I'd rather, just enjoy all the things life has to offer and never settle down. Truth be told, it's just, when I think of settling down, I think of some type of imprisonment, some type of cage, no matter what age you're at. Because let's say you're married at age 40, you have kids, you have all this shit. As a man, you want to just be free, If you watch the movie American Beauty, you'll see what it's like. You could be a working man, you could have a family, but in the end, you just want to drive a sports car. You want to go to Thailand and just fuck a bunch of, Asian girls because it's a possibility. It's an option. Why be stuck with one person or just in general living that life of being in a cage all the time, living in a place you don't want to live just because you got into that? Fuck that, dude. Fuck that. I know that in my later years, in my 30s, 40s, I just want to enjoy, and 50s, 60s, whatever, I just want peace and silence, I want a nice, house, some pets, whether dogs, cats, whatever, doesn't even matter. Maybe exotic pets like frickin', who knows, orangutans or armadillos. Fuck it. Everything's a possibility, right? And that's it. What else do you need? Right now I have pet birds, they sing for me, they enjoy my presence, I enjoy their presence. I have a lot of laughs just watching them interact. It's a beautiful thing. But when you're invested in any sort of, how should I say, relationship or anything, you don't have time to sit back and appreciate the beauty of the little things in life, because you're always hustling, you're always doing this, whatever. Even if you're rich, even if you're a rich guy, a billionaire, what have you, and you have a wife and all this stuff, you can't just sit down peacefully by yourself and enjoy all the things around you, because there will always be, a woman in the presence, or, she might not appreciate it as much as you do, She might even not like those things. That's the thing that happens a lot too, you know. Let's say a guy has a watch collection. You know, the wife could be like, oh, you spend too much on those watches. They're stupid. Why the fuck do you need more than one watch? Blah, 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 this and that. Well, what's wrong with you? Blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? But on the other hand, they want to adjust you to their mentality. But their mentality is just not like, oh, let's enjoy luxurious goods together, whatever, let's just have a good time. No, it's always be like, oh, I want a Louis Vuitton bag, right? And if you buy it for them, they'll be happy. But when you buy yourself a Rolex that costs more than their Louis Vuitton bag, it's going to be an instant argument, right? And it's going to come in the most subtle way, too. It won't be just like, oh, you bought yourself a Rolex, but you bought me a Louis Vuitton bag, what's wrong with you? No, it'll be something stupid. Like, oh, you didn't clean up after yourself when you ate dinner, or you didn't wash the dishes, or you didn't, take out the trash, this and that. And through those subtle ways, that's how they irritate you. That's how they get their revenge, so to speak. But as a single man, I don't have to worry about that shit. If I don't want to wash the dishes, I don't have to wash the dishes. If I don't want to watch fucking chick flicks, I don't have to watch chick flicks. You know? It's the freedom of being your true self without any restrictions. That's what I'm trying to get at. Every human being is a unique individual, and every human being has intrinsic abilities that they might not see all the time, There's a lot of famous artists, if you look at Picasso or Da Vinci or, Van Gogh, Imagine if their lifestyle was different. Imagine if they, for example, got married and settled down. Imagine Nikola Tesla. Imagine if he settled down. How different would the world be today? And how different would his life be? Would he accomplish all those things? Would he, and it's not about accomplishing things, it's just doing what you love. Nikola Tesla loved to do what he did, and he did it with proficiency. And that's what makes him an admirable person. Whereas in today's society, there's just a lot of just mindless people following trends, getting stuck in other bullshit, Like, let's say, virtual reality. Let's say I want to try out virtual reality, whatever. If you really want to progress in that field, if you really want to make any sort of advancements, you need to dedicate a lot of time into it. Like Albert Einstein, he spent days and days and days and countless hours in what he did. It didn't just come naturally. Like, sure, he was gifted to a certain degree, but if you don't work on that gift, it's not going to develop. You know what I'm saying? So, on your own, you have infinite amount of time to do as you please. And that's it. This has been a very long video, but I dropped some good advice here. I hope, especially those younger men, because the older men have it kind of figured out already. Or if you're an older man watching this and you're stuck in some bullshit, like let's say you're stuck in a marriage you don't enjoy, and you want to go on a fucking cruise and drink, top-end champagne and smoke, Monte Cristo cigars, why the fuck aren't you doing it? If you're a working man, if you're making your own money, just drop that shit. It's not worth it. Like I said, life is just, how should I say? Life is sort of structured chaos. If you don't enjoy it, it's going to waste. If you want to go on that cruise, if you want to do that stuff, but you're staying at home with your wife and pretending to be happy, then you're not living to your full potential. That's why I urge not to get into that position in the first place. This is what MGTOW to me personally is about. Avoiding that at all costs. To not be there, to not be there at age 30 or 40 wanting to go on a cruise, but you can't because, you got to take care of the wife, you got to take care of the kids, you got to do this. Or you want to go on a cruise by yourself, but your wife says, oh yeah, we're going to go together, whatever, blah, blah. It's not about selfishness. It's not about whatever. It's just the fact that your life is your life. It's what you have. It's what you own. You are a person. You are an individual. Why restrict yourself? And why try to blend, for example, two chemicals, for example, that don't correspond? As a scientist, you wouldn't do that. Because if you mix two of these certain chemicals, let's say you mix cyanide with, let's see, something that causes a massive amount of evaporation. Let's say you mix cyanide with, I don't know, hydrogen peroxide, or, any sort of gas that evaporates rapidly. What's going to happen? You're going to poison everybody in the fucking room, And this is what I'm saying. From a stable mindset and from a scientific mindset, you wouldn't do those things. So why would you do things in life that are similar to that, You want to go on a cruise, but you're tied down. Why? You're mixing two chemicals that don't correspond. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, cheers, people.